Hello, hello. Good day, everyone. I'm back for more guest work. Oh, wait, hold on. Now what happens? Is that I did this. All right, there you go. My bots should be working again. Yep, there you go. Okay. Anyway, we go to the Vim. We go to the Vim. We as soon as I go into the project, the website is going to start being served at 1111. There you go. Okay, so what I want to do today is I want to document how the syntax is working, maybe, so that if we ever come back to it, I understand how it works. I should replace the footer too, I guess. In this theme. Let's take a look at how do I replace the footer first. So website. Site themes. You have the index HTML, right? It's not really about the index. We extend the juice templates index HTML. Is that like a completely separate thing? Probably, yeah. So the footer, yeah, the footer is what I want to change. HTML. Block footer and block footer. What should I say here though? Hello, Nigel. Does it update immediately? It does. All right. I'm not sure what should be there in the bottom. It's almost like I don't really need anything there, right? Maybe I should just comment it out that we don't have any footer. Remove the footer. Document get element by ID features. Scroll into view. Behavior smooth. Is this like a built-in JavaScript stuff? Scroll into view. It is. Nice. Baseline widely available. What does that even mean? This feature is well established and works. Is that a new feature of the MDN docs here? All right. Anyway, so I'm going to write about how the AST parsing works. Basically, that's the goal for today. And what I want is to script async defer buttons JS. All right, whatever. Let's take a look here. So we have content, index, implementation, MD. So see implementation. So on the index we have no, it doesn't matter. Implementation, MD. Who is referring to this website then? Isn't this part of the header of the index HTML? Let's take a look at this. We have the hero. Writing comments. What are you? Okay, current progress. Maybe that's what I should be looking for. Current progress. Yeah, so this is just like the title of this page. Are they just listing all the things somewhere? Because this is what? Again, this is nav, right? Let's take a look at nav. Yeah. So here we go. This is the macro render header. And the macro render header. So we go for page in section pages. Use exclude menu. And exclude menu is not containing page title. And we do this. Page title, menu title. There is a extra menu that I could have in my config toml here, right? Yeah, extra menu is GitHub, for example, because that doesn't exist as a page. Okay, makes sense. Use exclude menu is exclude from nav, but that should be like the list of things, the list of pages that I should be excluding. What if we have a folder here? What if I have a folder which would be something like I don't know. Let's say that it's a blog, right? that it's a blog, and we will have like the AST, you know? What about that? So there you go. This is how we do it, you know? Title, AST, description, AST, weight is 2. I don't know what weight is. Let's get rid of it. Finally, Rust, Mikopet. Hello there. Not sure if I'm going to write a lot of Rust code today, because I'm going to write how my Rust code works instead. Maybe we will, in addition to, we're going to like test it a little more, maybe like find a bug and fix it, then I will write some Rust. So if I do this, does this appear somewhere or not? But if I do /blog, then it does not exist. But if I do /blog/ast, then it works. So how do I make this appear somewhere? Blog, we can do blog index HTML, right? That's what we can do. Index MD, I guess. Blog. Then it says, welcome to Zola. You're seeing this page because we couldn't find a template to render. To modify this page, create section HTML file in the templates directory, or install a theme. You can find what variables are available in this template in the documentation. What I would have helped me here, the thing that I'm working on is my programming language. It's called Kast. This is our work in progress website for it. You can see what it's supposed to look like over here in these examples. Here's the Fibonacci numbers, for example. That's what I'm working on. So this project was written in OCaml. It was like some of the things were working, but then I decided to rewrite it in Rust instead. The Rust implementation is very far behind because we just started it basically. I'm only parsing the AST. Okay, how does Zola section works? Section is created whenever a directory in the content section contains an index.md file. If a directory does not contain an index.md file, no section will be created, but markdown files within that directory will still create pages, known as orphan pages. The home page, the page displays first your base URL is a section, which is created whether or not if you add an index.md file at your root of your content directory. If you do not create, this main content section will not have any content or metadata. If you would like to add content or metadata, you can add an index.md at the root. Any normed markdown file in a section directory is added to the assets collection of the section. Content block index.md. Do you know how Zola works? I have the file, but I also need to have an HTML file describing how this section should work, right? A template for a section is what we need here. Can I make it without a template? Because like it's a pretty specific section. Is Section HTML. Template to use to render this section page. Okay, so this is what we can do. The theme that I'm using is called Juice. We have changed it a little bit. It looks like they only have the index HTML and page HTML, which is the theme for like separate pages and for the root index, right? But they don't have a template for a section in this theme, which means that I need to provide it myself, which would probably go on to be like similar to the page HTML or something close to Yash. You do. Here is an example of what you do. Website launched. All right. Versatile. There is no README. Website launched. Index HTML. Title blog. Sort by date. Yes. Templates. Shortcode. So you use a theme. You use a theme that's called Kita. This theme gives you the template, which is called section HTML, and it extends index HTML, but replaces the main block with this. Okay. So I need to do like something similar to this. My theme that I use does not provide a section, so I need to do this myself. Let's do section HTML. All right. Let's see. Let's extends extends juice templates page HTML. I don't know what should I extend here. Fail build error. Fail to build section. Fail to render section HTML. Variable page title is not found in the context while rendering section HTML. Because it's not a page, it's a section. Okay, so I cannot even extend a page. All right, sure. Let's take a look at the page HTML. Let's just copy this into the section HTML then. Macros, I guess, is from the juice. Templates macros, right? As macros, and then we extend index HTML. Okay, sure. We just replace the title with page title or super. What does super mean? No idea. So this is for section. So we go section title, I guess. Right? Super is like the title of the parent thing, I guess. Page description. Okay, description is heading text. We just call it section description, sure. And then page content is not found. Is it because I need to write something here in this page specifically? Actually, in fact, what I want to do is like this is going to be a generated thing anyway, isn't it? Now let's write a hello here. Page content is not found. Oh, because it's not page again. Okay, that's the reason. Section HTML. Section content. Okay, so it says not found. Wait, what? What is not found? Oh, there you go. Now it's found. Wait. Okay, nice. It's found. Let's say over here. The title is blog. Description is kast development blog. Maybe something like this. Right? Sometimes it says not found because still compiling. All right. So there you go. Let's also make this available in the top right, I guess. It looks like it does not bring me to all these sections. Right. So index HTML item. That's a different thing. Index HTML here. No, it's in macros. This one. So this is going through the section pages. So like the current section. Macro render header. But like wait, hold on. This is the section pages render header. Okay, let's take a look at when is the render header being called. Render header is being called in the index HTML and in the page HTML. I think it might be time to look for a better theme. Or we just make our own theme from scratch. Like, it's not that hard, right? I mean, if you... Okay, let's take a look. Zola themes. Structure is easy. Then you have to deal with front end. Yeah, I just looked through this and I saw one of the themes, which is Juice, right? This is the one that I used. I just didn't like the color here. Otherwise, it was pretty nice. What else would be cool here? Pyramid Zola. I don't know. This looks simple and good. Cool, maybe. I don't know. Code, feather. Want some Rust code? We got Rust code. Not a fan of this black-white background. I don't know. Minimal dark. Elemental magic card game. Hello. Particle. Like, I feel like a lot of the things are like it's not that hard to I can just like copy paste this existing theme so that I don't need to. Like same as I can customize our current theme, right? The only thing is that that was supposed to be like a single page theme, I guess. So they did not make, or like not a single page, but like they didn't like prepare for sections in this theme. But it should not be that hard, like I said, right? Section. Okay, hold on. Section. We extend index HTML. Okay. Macros render header. So like this is the one, like, right? A render header. My question is why over here the header that I'm rendering has the current progress and GitHub, because the render header. How about I say something like this is my header, just to make sure that it works. This is my header, okay. So like it definitely, like I'm definitely am here, right? In the section macros render header, macros render header over here. Oh, section is the get section, which is index MD. Okay, I see. So like it's always about showing the navigation from the index, which means that this is always the same. I think that is totally fine then. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Quisty, hello. Colors are not a problem. Layout is. Doing CSS from desktop from and plus mobile is fun. It's not fun. Yeah, but like they already did it for me, right? Like the CSS, I'm not like we just change it a little bit, right? The way a website works right now on the mobile, I think, is kind of nice. No? I just need to have a section which is like a blog. It will just list the pages, right? So similarly to this macro, we need to go and for page in this something. Let's see, content, section content. So like section content is just like the thing before I list all the blog posts individual, right? And then we go for page in section pages. Shit. For page in section pages, we don't do this. I also don't do this. I just need to do a for here. I don't need to do an if. And I think we just make what? Let's take a look at some of actually let's just take a look at some of the existing ones. Like for example this one, right? Example posts. Leave demo. It doesn't really matter for me. Posts. Like, you know, this is the list that I want, right? So this is the content of the page kind of, and this is the actual list. So let's take a look. It's just like a div, this, that, you know, kind of stuff. Why is it div title instead of being an actual header? Everything is a div. H2 archive year. Okay. UL unlist. Okay. Posts flat. Oh wait, hold on. You can have a header inside the unordered list in HTML as not a the list item. That would be like the header of the list. I didn't know if you could do that even. Right now, mobile website completely hides the code examples that you added because that was the behavior of the larger image originally. Yeah, but like, should we have it? What if I hold on? What if I open the something like Node.js website is the good one, right? Node.js website, and then we say that I open it for the mobile, right? It still shows the examples. Okay, sure. Okay, so we just don't want to hide it. Okay, we just change the CSS though for it. It's not that hard to not hide it, right? Let me just work on the on this thing. We go for section pages. I just have a link. Where okay, I'm not sure about what a nav item is or what other classes should be here. Page permalink. Save. Maybe page title. I feel like what I need to do is something like unordered list, right? And this is one of the list items. No? And then we like so this is like yeah, and we can give it some like date, I guess. Do we have a date for it? Page a date. Is that a built-in thing or not? Probably not. Looks like if you want to do that, better to get rid of juice. Yeah, but like we can keep the parts that we like, right? Um Zola, sections. What I was wondering is like, what are the things? Like, you know, section content or like page, right? Is what I'm interested in. Page has things like title, like is it or is it only giving me all the things that I give in the like these are all the fields that I'm going to have, title, slag, but also content is like the like I want to know what is like the type like in the templates. I can have page summary, for example, right? Like where's the documentation of this? To do so more in your content and the point where you want the summary to end, the content up to that point will be available in the template via the page summary. Oh, okay, so we can have a page summary too. Okay, nice. So if we add a comment, okay, page summary. So in the list of posts, we can show the summary, which is going to be like the beginning, right? A span element. Okay, I don't really need that though, I think. Dot content. Like there is no documentation for this, or am I looking at this in different places? Templates. How about this? Whichever template you decide to render, you will get a page variable in your template with the following fields. Okay, page has content, title, description, date. Okay, date is a string question mark. How is the date determined? Date. Zola page date. Date. Another exception for this rule is that a file name starting with a date time followed by an underscore or a dash will use that date as the page date unless already set in the front matter. Okay, so we there is like two ways of doing this. Either we do it, either we prefix a page name with the date, or we have it in the listed in the front matter, right? So one of the two variants. Which I guess we can, I would like to rename it instead. So what is the date today? 2024. Is it month then? 0925. Is this the date? I guess it is. Okay, and then we can have, hold on. Zola, Zola templates, section and pages. Once again, they have a specific thing such as year, month, or day, right? And we can convert that into the thing, right? Doesn't really matter. Cooler Markdown, SSR with backlinks and tooltip previews. What do you mean? Like this is the Markdown SSR with backlinks and tooltip previews? What's a tooltip preview? What's a backlink? Is a static site generator that transforms Markdown content into fully functional websites? Okay. So another thing instead of Zola that I would need to learn. LaTeX. Backlinks. Backlink for a node is a link from another node to that node. What about the examples? Hosting. Migrations. Showcase. Jackie's Garden. Graph view. Why is there a graph view here? What is this about? Hover over a link. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, we can migrate to a different static website generator later, right? I don't really care about that too much right now. I mean, if you want to, you can migrate to something and make a pull request, right? As development blog. Okay. I don't need any content here. Do I need? Yeah, I do not need. Okay, all right. Can I list all the different sections potentially? Zola list sections. Traced over the post of a section is easy. Is there such a thing as subsection? Subsections. Hold on. When the section is drafted, its descendant like pages, subsections, and exits will not be processed unless drafts is passed. So there is such a thing as subsections, right? Which means that I can iterate over them. Templates. Sections and pages. Subsections. Direct subsections in these sections sorted by subsections weight. This only contains the path to use in the get sections built in something. Okay, so we basically what I want, because they did not include the subsections, right? They only included the pages here. Now that it's in Rust, I would like to contribute to Kast, not contribute to Kast's website. You know what? I'm not going to care about it too much. I'm just going to have that we have the extra menu. Title is blog, and the link is slash blog, like that. I think if I change the toml file, then I need to restart it, right? I'm pretty sure that Zola needs to be restarted. Then there you go. So current progress blog GitHub. Okay. Current implementation progress. We don't really need that page either, right? I think we need it. Okay, there you go. I think the dude whose framework you have to use was making it purposely obfuscated. He stores the module as hash values in runtime, so no IDE can know what that is. You basically can't have any idea what's going on because all the methods calls he has emulated dynamic method calls by string name, like building own virtual machine just for the sake of it. What? Anyway, we're going to write a thing about AST over here. Let's open this side by side, I guess, right? Okay, so here we go. In cast, there is no built-in syntax, right? Okay. Except for syntax for defining for adding new syntax. It's impossible to understand what the code is doing by reading it, only by debugging. Okay, well, why do you use it then? Syntax. We just copy the. I guess is the ternary operator the one that is useful? Syntax ternary. Right, associative something something. Hold on, let's take a look at the syntax. Ternary. Question mark. Oh, it's all right, sure. Ternary operator. Something is condition question mark. Then colon else, right? Something like this. If one wanted to have a ternary operator, wanted to have a ternary operator. For example, you could add a syntax for it. In case there is no built-in syntax, no built syntax, except for syntax for adding new syntax. More I read it, more recursive you go. All right. I mean, this was explained shortly in the main page, right? Like in the very end over here, right? That kast syntax is not static but dynamic. I don't know. I'm not sure like if this wording is better. The programmer can define their own syntax easily, right? But this is basically it. This is more about like the technical implementation. What is going to be. You know, so that it's like a comment for my code, but in a form of a post, you know. Yeah. Default syntax is declared in standard library and cannot be used if you wish. You know, these kind of things. um um the okay, by default you can use not by default. I'm not sure how it's going to be yet. Like right now it is this standard syntax is like being used by default. We don't really provide a way to opt out of the standard syntax yet to use something else. I want to be able to not use the standard syntax though in the future, but yeah. The standard syntax is defined in std syntax, right? Out of box. What do you mean? The standard syntax is defined on the std syntax, but you can ignore it and don't call it default or standard. Well, it's the standard library, right? What do you mean I should not call it standard? It's a standard library. That's why it's called standard syntax. But the standard library can be ignored completely, is the idea. You know, including the standard syntax. Out of box. Should instead of the std, we should call it OOB for out of box? But you can ignore it and define your own instead. I don't know. Sure, something like that. Anyway, here we'll describe how this works, right? Here, I'll describe how this system, how is this system implemented, right? That's what we want to describe the implementation here. Wish Nishg Kutvuk. What does that mean? How do you render Markdown? I'm using Zola, which is the static website generator. This one. There's a lot of different static website generators that exist. How this system is implemented, right? Let's write down here also. This defines syntax for ternary operator, which should be defined somewhere with which is right associative, this arrow, as a priority 20, and is written kast literally has a double standards. What does that mean? What do you mean double standards? And is defined as a cond question mark then colon else, where cond then and else is any other syntax, is any other is anything else can be anything defined by other syntax rules with higher priority. Hello, what do I make? I'm making a programming language. Right now I'm trying to like write some internal documentation about how our AST system works. Hello, blood. higher priority, or be a simple on single token value, right? And the question mark and colon are keywords that are required. I don't know how to write English. We just say that these are keywords, right? Keywords. Standard syntax. Okay, let's also let's put this over here. Are keywords. Okay. Do I want to like write some more something like you know are they keywords or are they literal token symbols? I mean, I call them keywords, but like, I mean, what's the difference between a keyword and a symbol? Keywords. Keywords don't have to be a punctuation. They can be any they can be don't have to be punctuation. They can also be normal identifiers. Syntax is a keyword in my language. Yes. So syntax is the only built-in keyword, but you can define your own keywords, right? Keywords don't have to be punctuation. They can also be normal identifiers. For example, a regular if a regular conditional expression syntax is like, you know, syntax then else, or if then else something something, you know, is if condition then else, you know. Does that make sense then? Does that make sense? How to write a comment like this? Does that make sense? Okay. They don't have special meaning, so they are not keywords, they are just words? What do you mean? They have special meaning. Their meaning is that they are used to determine if what is the syntax, you know? User-defined keywords, yes. It's just user-defined keywords. So then every single token is a keyword because some syntax rule will parse it. No. No. Because the condition here, like syntax, is anything that you have in any of the syntax rules written in like specified, you know? Everything that is not listed in these quotes is not a keyword, basically. You know? So everything that's in quotes is the keyword. Everything that's not in a quote. What if you call them context words? Why? Because that's literally what a keyword is in like everywhere else. Right? It's just everywhere else the syntax is like predefined. If I like, for example, if I had this as an internal implementation and then did not allow you to extend the syntax, this you would call it keywords, right? Still, like why should it stop being keywords if I just allow you to extend this? You know? By having the ability to extend the syntax doesn't change what these things are. Can we later reuse a user-defined keyword for something else? Like if we create the if then else, then we can use then as a variable name or as in a string. If you want to, like there is a raw literals, right? So like in Rust, you have the r hashtag if you want to call your variable if, you need to make it a raw one, right? Similarly to how in SQL, you can, I guess it depends on the SQL variant, you can like put the escapes for like if you want to call your variable select in SQL, you would put it in back quotes in MySQL, I think, or in like singular quotes in Postgres, right? Something like this. So in kast, in my language, the raw identifier is this. Like in Zig, I think it does the same. You do an @ symbol and then you do a string if, you know, like this. If you can mention how to define a syntax root called reverse this into conventional keywords we see in other language so people don't get confused like you just did. Yeah, but how do I write this? Like, you see, writing is hard. Writing is hard. Maybe I can like say a little bit like why or something, you know? That's also, I'm not sure how to write. You can Control-C, Control-V your message. Defining your own syntax rules converts these into conventional keywords. I don't know. I mean, and okay. Maybe the reason you are confused is because I'm showing this for the ternary operator, which is basically like constructing your own operators. But I should really start with not an operator, but actually by defining custom keywords. You know, maybe that's what's confusing. Like because There are some languages that allow you to introduce your own operators, but they don't allow you to introduce your own keywords, you know? Why would anyone want to use R-if? Just make another name. I mean, the if is not really the one that I ever wanted to use. The one that I wanted to use in my Rust code, for example, is move. Move is a keyword in Rust, which makes it annoying. I remember that when I was like doing the Go, in Go range is a keyword, which makes it very annoying. What else? What are the other keywords that I remember about? Like, you know, when you are making a game, in game you have, like, in a turn-based game, you have moves. So, like, and move is a keyword in Rust, makes it very annoying. You know? And partially is future-proofing your language in case you want to add more keywords to the implementation. Yeah, let's just start this. With something else. Let's just say this. A regular. Let's see. For example, a regular conditional expression is defined as in std is defined as this. If then else, if condition, then this, then that. Like, I kind of want to do the ternary operator too, though. It defines syntax for if then else, which should be defined somewhere. I'm curious what your opinion on the C language is. C still is de facto system language everywhere, but everything about C basically means no bounds, weak types. I've never had anyone explain to me why I would want a language designed with the weakest possible type system. Well, I don't know why would anyone want that either. I'm not using C. I don't see a use case for C myself. Sometimes there's just like no alternative, I guess. Especially like, I don't know, like before Rust existed, there was basically no alternative. The only other was what, like C++? C and C++ were the only ones basically. Now there is Rust. Now there's also like Zig, I guess. But they're new. C is just I don't know. I think it's just because of no alternative. So it became standard. What if you start by showing the for loop syntax? Sure. For example, for loop is defined as syntax for in, right? Let's do for element, let's say in sure, let's call it iterator. Body, right? This defines syntax for in, which should be defined somewhere, which is right, associative. Like the thing is, like, for the for loop, the association doesn't make sense, you know. Like, the reason I chose the ternary operator is because the associativity matters for it, you know, because for the for loop it doesn't really make sense to say that it has associativity much, right? Actually, Fortran was a very strong typed and safe language. So why didn't Fortran become mainstream? Because it was what, I don't know. I'm not that old, I guess. I never tried Fortran. I don't know the history and why people liked C more. Or is it not because they liked C more? Pre-90 Fortran had a joke IO system. That's the only reason you can see. All right. It might be like some small annoyances, you know, like for example, Haskell is a nice language, but at the same time, it's so annoying to use, that I dropped it because of some small annoyances. I could see the same being about like C versus Fortran, even if it is like a strong type, has a good type system. It's like impractical and very annoying to write. Maybe same things, you know. Maybe it required more learning. I don't know, like even these days, right? Like a lot of people like Go language, for example, and I really don't understand that. But I mean, I do understand that, but at the same time, I don't. Like it's a language that is easy to learn compared to Rust, for example. But I don't know. I just think it's not the most important quality of a language. But it makes sense that by being easy to learn, it becomes more widespread. So, I don't know, it could be something like that too. The only bad part of Fortran you could see was I/O, where I/O was keywords built into the language itself, which is crazy to look at. Is there any other thing with let's take a look at the standard syntax. Is there anything else for which the associativity would make sense? You know what? We could define syntax for an for a ternary if, but with keywords instead of instead of punctuation, like in Python. You know how in Python you can say something like one if true, else zero, right? And this is basically the ternary operator. The condition is in the middle instead of in the beginning, right? But you know, like we can do something like this maybe instead, because for that the associativity makes sense. Is there anything? Because most of the things with associativity that actually is matters is the operators, I think. Well, I have this. I did this. I'm not sure if I will keep it, but condition then else was there. Like, and it also like the ternary has like two keywords instead of just one keyword, you know? So it's not just a single operator. It's more complex than that. You dislike that Python ternary very much? Hard to read and chain? Is it hard to chain though? I don't know. I don't have the opinion on this Python syntax, but I know that. I mean, I can see how it makes sense. You know, you start with the value in case of success, then you define what success is, which is the condition, and then you say how you like. What's the how do you and then you define the failed value. You know, it's almost like like I don't know what it's like. Like I think I could see how it can make sense. It's like the idea of it put in practice, but I really don't like it. I prefer writing a full if. Yeah. I'm not sure if I will keep the ternary operator. I just have it so that we can like test that it works. I should probably remove it from the standard syntax. All right, yeah. For example, you could define a ternary if, like in Python. Is it okay that we reference other languages here? I think that's fine. Ternary if is ternary if is value if condition else okay, let's see true value and false value. Okay, how about this? Ternary operator in Python is cursed. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it is. Like I said, I didn't really try using it in practice. I think it might be like just the what we're used to, you know? I'm not sure if it's actually cursed or not. Being different is not always bad. Ruby, if condition then expression else this end. Ruby just does it like everyone else does. And being different is not always bad. Being the same as everyone is also not always good. Chrome smart enough to access your system information and report them back home. Good feature. I never believed, am I writing to memory directly in C? Just that I was writing relative to the other memory address I'm using, which is still pretty much directly write to memory. Huh? This defines a syntax for ternary if, which should be defined somewhere. Somewhere. Okay. I'm not really talking about this, like how it is defined and how it is like done, like the macro system. This is like done after the AST. So yeah, which is right associative has priority. 15 sure, and is defined as true value if condition else false value. There's a bunch of pointer syntax where you can just walk up and down memory locations, but you're really not walking up and down memory spaces. Chrome, or at least Chromium, also has Chrome discards to stop from suspending certain tabs when they are not in focus. I thought the tabs are never suspended where they're not in focus. Or do you mean like, I mean, they're not rendered, I guess. Like if you request an animation frame on a tab and it's get unfocused, then like it's not receiving that. Is it about that thing or about something else? Sure. Where? Let's see. True value. Condition. And false value. Can be anything defined by other syntax rules with higher priority, or be a simple single token value. And the question and the if and else are keywords. Okay. Keywords. So we go like the other way, right? We show the way to introduce new keywords, and then we say that keywords can also be punctuation. So to define ternary operator from C. So ternary operator from C would be defined as this ternary operator. Oh, hold on. This also is right associative, right? The if else in Python is also right associative, right? I'm pretty sure it is. Like if we say one if false, else 0 if true, else 3. I guess it would be nicer if I just said 1 2 3 here, right? So this is 2, right? This is 3. So this is right associative, right? Do this here. Let's call it 20. It's my opinion is that C syntax is unsafe for no reason, or letting you walk up and down memory with pointers with no bounds if just not necessary. What about it's being unsafe has nothing to do with syntax though, right? Syntax is just syntax. If you use C, you probably done silly stuff where you write over memory of variables that are next to variables you just declared. I mean, yeah, but it's not a syntax thing. Okay, there you go. Does that make sense now? All right. I did not even start describing how this is implemented yet. For example, you could define a ternary if, like in Python, like so. I guess syntax ternary if, right? Associative 20 is true value if condition, else false value. This defines syntax for ternary if, which should be defined somewhere, which is right associative, has priority 20, and is defined as this, where true value condition is false value can be anything defined by other syntax rule with high priority, and the if and else are keywords. Okay. Keywords can also be punctuation, so a ternary operator from C could be defined like this. Neither it is performance thing, but at the same time, you deal directly with ASM and do very little C. Is kast going to have totally immutable values like Haskell, or is it going so it can be used for multitasking? Multitasking can be done even in other languages. Even in C, you can do multitasking, right? Totally immutable is good, but it's not enough in my opinion. I will have a borrow checker similar to Rust, but different. Hopefully better. I don't know if I can do it better. We'll see. Multitaskal. Hello, Brainoid. What do you mean by can be used for multitasking? I mean, immutability makes it easy for things to be used for multitasking, but like if you ever tried Rust, you can do, I mean, like immutability makes it hard to make bug, to write bug, to like mutate something on accident and then be surprised that it has been mutated, right? In something like C, you can mutate something and no one, like you should always be ready for something to be mutated as a result, right? Rust does it so that you can mutate, but it will be like it will be obvious from the. It's pretty obvious if something can be mutated or not, basically. I don't know. It's kind of similar to the in Rust to the Haskell's ST monad. Something should be called the Dreamcast. Like your game might have multi-threading, yeah. I mean, multi-threading is possible to do in all the languages, right? Like it has nothing to do with immutability. Functions are on the function stack. You wouldn't want to share memory that has been allocated on the stack. That's not entirely true. You can do that in Rust safely without it being a problem. Or you wouldn't want to share memory that has been allocated on the stack. I mean, because it's very error prone to do so in a language like C. So like, but if you have the guardrails like the borrow checker in Rust, then there is no issue with sharing something on the stack with another thread. It's, yeah. Multi-threading is mostly fake in all languages. It's not really running at the same time. What? Huh? I mean, what? Huh? I don't know, I'm confused. Is it fake? The only fake language is Python because of the global interpreter lock, I guess, which means that nothing is like actually like because they lock everything, right? That's what the global interpreter lock is for. But that's, I don't know. What are the languages you're talking about? You were talking about C before, right? So like in C, stuff can happen at the same time. You just spawn a thread, and then inside the thread, it's, I mean, then it's like the it still is multi-threading, but perhaps not concurrent and parallel, but threads, yes. I'm not sure what they meant by the multi-threading is fake. Even then, I think it's not true anymore. The global interpreter lock has some improvements addressing that. No, I think they actually dropped the global interpreter lock recently, right? Python, or did they not yet? Python dropping global interpreter lock. Removing global interpreter lock, it's happening. This is the news from a year ago. So, I don't know. Forbidden. Yeah, sure. No more global interpreter lock. The Python team has officially accepted. So, yeah, like, I mean, the Python is no longer going to be... It's going to have, like, the true multi-threading now, right? Accepted the proposal. I'm not sure if it's, like, is implemented yet or not. No idea. You can remember C very well, but I don't think C can handle multi-threading. It's done by the OS. Okay, yes, sure. It's done by the OS. Can you do multi-threading without a call to the operating system, though? What is a language that can do the multi-threading without the OS? I mean, if you are writing code for, like, if you are writing your own operating system, then, I mean, the operating system can be written in C. So in this case, C can handle multi-threading or what? Like, isn't the operating system the like the Linux is written in C anyway? So doesn't that mean that C can handle multi-threading? You're not even sure operating system has a responsibility for that. I'm not sure how it's done on like the assembly level. I never spawned a thread from the assembly when writing like directly for like without for code that's supposed to run without an operating system. I never tried spawning a thread there. How to spawn thread assembly. Is it possible to spawn a thread without a system call in Linux x86 GAS assembly? The short answer is that you cannot. User threads won't give you the threading support that you want because they all run on the same hardware thread. Like you talk about like hardware threads, right? So user threads are implemented on top of the hardware threads, right? So when you're writing with assembly, you can like you work with these, right? So operating system is what is implementing the threads that like switches the contexts and stuff, right? Is that how it works? For things running at the same time, it's all being decided by the own operating system in the CPU. I don't know. Everything is fake, I guess. The threads in the operating system are actually fake threads. I'm not sure if the hardware threads are fake or not yet. We could dig even deeper. Green threads. Green threads is like even a different thing, I guess. All right, what do we do now? Is this enough introduction? Is this enough introduction? I think it is. Let's do something like storing the syntax definitions. Green threads can depend on the operating system task scheduler. If it decides to not run your program, the scheduler will not work either. I'm not sure what we're arguing about anyway. Like the question was, is the language going to support something that is not fake threads? But I'm not sure what it means, you know, at all. Erlang Elixir has its own built-in multi-threading system. Okay, Erlang Elixir have their own thing, which is called... okay, Erlang Elixir, they're working on top of their own virtual machine, and they have their green threads, which is similar to like the Go routines, I guess, and stuff like that. It's also fake. It's also fake. It is also fake. Those are fiber. There's also fibers. I'm not sure how exactly the Erlang is implementing their stuff. There is fibers, there is like I don't know, like in JavaScript you have promises, which I mean you could say that they are the same. There is not very much differences. There is like slight technical implementation differences, I guess. Someone explaining multiprocessing versus multithreading to me like M5. Well, a process is like it's like a program that's running on your operating system, right? And the thread is more like a part of the process. It's all fake anyway, you know? It's all made up terms by the operating system, right? Storing syntax definition. Okay. All right. Computers are fake, actually. Yeah, I think so. Um, all right. Um, ah, okay. Syntax, definitions, um, are stored in a data. Am I multi-threaded? Well, I'm not sure. If I can read chat and like work at the same time, am I really multi-threaded? But am I doing them at the same time? So not really, right? So it's more like I'm doing these things concurrently, but not in parallel necessarily, right? I don't know. I have the global interpreter lock. Yeah. Threads are like functions that get spawned, but can be run at any time according to the scheduler. The operating system has its own thread scheduler, but what I am trying to say is that you don't want to rely on the operating system threads, because they are very heavyweight and will bog down your operating system if you use it in your applications. All right. Well, it's just weird that you are saying that Erlang and Elixir, they have the non-fake multi-threading and everything else has fake multi-threading, because like the actually non-fake is this one, the operating that the operating system provides, which is heavy. And what Erlang is doing is they give you the green threads, which work on top of these operating system threads anyway. It's like user space threads, or I don't know, whatever you call it. Those are the real fake ones. So Erlang is making fake threads. The very short answer: a thread runs inside your program when a process is independent. So when you multiprocess, a full clone is required. But if it can run multiple core, the operating system does decide to do so. Thread is shallow clone, which will run inside your program. I don't think I understood this, even though I think I understand what thread versus process means. I don't think I would understand that. When I say fake, I'm talking about the multi-threading that scripting languages like Python, Ruby, JavaScript use. That's entirely fake threads. You are the one that says all threads are fake. I'm not saying that. Pretty sure they have normal threads. Can you not spawn threads in something like Node.js? Threads? Worker threads? Like when you have workers, this would be actually threads. No? And in Python, thread-based parallelism, like I'm not sure if like global interpreter lock gets in the way here or not. I don't know. I'm not experienced in Python enough, I guess. But I don't know. It's weird to say that JavaScript has fake multi-threading, but Erlang does not have fake multi-threading, because it's basically kind of like the same thing. It's kind of the same thing. It's just like the scheduler in JavaScript is single-threaded, I guess. But in Erlang, it's working on top of multiple operating system threads, right? Similar to how, like, if you use Rust, you have the async code, but async code can run on a single thread still, or it can run on multiple threads. Doesn't really, like, Erlang has the OPM, which is its own multi-threading engine. OPM. Erlang. OTP? Or what? Why was Erlang banned? Opium? I don't know. Erlang threads. Technically, why are process and Erlang more efficient? Erlang used to be single-threaded, meaning that there was no requirement to ensure thread safety between processes. Erlang is based on virtual threads. Yes, virtual threads, or aka fake threads, confusingly called processes. The Erlang virtual machine schedules them to the operating system threads, just like I said. What am I wrong about here? Or is this person also wrong? Jake Morrison, I don't know if they are also wrong, but like, there is no other way to implement it, is there? Their own OTP, whatever it's called, is implemented on top of the operating system threads. OTP Erlang. Erlang OTP. OTP is a set of Erlang libraries, which consist of the Erlang runtime system. OTP is a set of libraries. It's not a thread. I mean, it's including the runtime system, I guess, which includes the implementation of the threading. I'm not sure. Do you use Erlang? Are you sure that what you said is true and that they don't use operating system threads? I'm pretty sure you're wrong. Syntax definitions are stored in a data structure. Similar to a tree, I think. Let's see. Is there anything else that would be similar? What I say is a tree, because we have this graph to decide what, like, a tree is used for finding string in a set of strings. We are going to try to find a syntax definition from a set of syntax definitions. So like in that sense, it's similar. I'm not sure what else would I like refer to as an example. Have you read anything about how to make 1.5 billion plus money as a software engineering consultant? I've read that software engineers generally move up in ranking by gaining more architectural knowledge and taking on more responsibility. Then I'm focused on breadth of product of architecture from a hacker perspective. Will this give me better chance to rank up as software engineering versus focusing on a smaller scope? No idea. No idea. I'm not making money. Is still somehow access to system scheduler, so indeed it may implement its own interfaces to operating system scheduler, but looks like it's a huge overkill. So indeed it may implement its own interfaces to operating system scheduler, but looks like a huge overkill. Everything that runs on your computer has to run operating system threads. I'm not saying it doesn't, but once your app gets its share of the operating thread running time, then you can use your own scheduler within that, which is going to be more efficient than spawning operating system threads that will block your operating system process. Sure, yes. So what? Yes. It's called green threads, fibers, Like in Rust, we have futures. In like in Erlang, it's a built-in runtime. Like in Golang, Go routines are done similarly. It's built into the language. In my language, it's not going to be built in. If that okay, maybe your question was it going to be built in or not? Then the answer is no. It will be similar to Rust, where it's going to be implemented as a library, a lightweight thread system, which is going to be, or like I guess in C++ you call those coroutines also, right? So yeah, it's implementable as a library. It's just for some reason some languages decide to have it implemented natively, like Go and Erlang, but I don't know. Being able to switch the implementation, I think, is a nice thing to have. C++ std for each. Is std for each running things concurrently? Std for each C++. Is it? Unlike the rest of the... Okay, so it is about the parallelism, right? And then, yeah. So like basically for each is running. So you give it an iterator of like these lightweight threads, right? And then they are being run in parallel, right? So this would be similar to something like in Rust, we have a crate that's called Rayon, right? Which is for running things in parallel without spawning an operating system thread for every single task. Yes, because that's inefficient. Similar to a tree. An edge in a tree data structure similar to a tree. An edge in this tree is a keyword. Is a keyword. Optionally is a keyword and a number of values that are expected before that keyword. In some nodes of the tree, we can also finish finish the syntax definition by following with a certain number of final values. All right, I'm not sure if this is good explanation of the data structure that I'm using. So maybe let's give an example. For example, true value if condition else else false value definition like above would be split into would be split into underscore if a value followed by if keyword underscore else, a value followed by else keyword, and then underscore final value to final value, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So these are the edges that we're going to have in our tree data structure. This is such a broad question. There are so many fields you can get into as a software engineer, like low-level engineering, databases, big data, web architecture. You need to pick a field you're good at and then go from there. Well, if their question was about the money, then there are different fields which are easier to get successful money-wise than others, right? Like, for example, streaming is something that you should probably not look into because there is no money in being a streamer. Yes, you are, unless you are one of the lucky successful ones. Or like if you want to go into game development, there is a lot of yeah, it's hard to be successful there too, I guess, is what I mean. If then else. All right. Okay. I think money is it's an attitude and commitment. You can make money in any field if you are ready to put work in it. Isn't 20 viewers enough to make a living? No, I don't think so. I don't know. How do I get money? By just showing the ads to the viewers, Twitch is not giving enough money. If people like, I don't know, if every single viewer would be a subscriber, then maybe it would be more, right? So if a single subscription is what, like $5 a month, then 20 would be $100 a month. Is this enough to make a living? And that's like before the cut that Twitch takes for itself, right? And before the taxes and shit. Is $100 a month enough? I don't know. Probably not. I imagine you know enough now to get a good software engineering job, doing mostly anything. Who, me? No, I can get a job. Getting a job is not hard, yeah. But, I mean, I have a job, which I work on sometimes, you know. But, I guess it depends. When I start running out of money, that's when I'm going to actually think about getting a job that it pays well. But if you would make paid content and focused to promote it on the Twitch, would you make money? If you would make paid content. Yeah, but who would pay for the content? You could make your own streaming startup. You always felt ads are done wrong in Twitch. I don't know, I feel like that's even harder. There is a lot of other platforms that try to compete with Twitch. None of them really does it successfully, right? Making an improved streaming platform and making people use that improved streaming platform is not like I don't know. It's like, you know, it's easy to make a language that's better than Python, you know, but making all those Python users switch from Python to your language, that's the hard part, you know. Once this data structure is constructed, we could easily we can find I can create syntax hmm. Can you build? Can you even build similar system at Amazon with all nonsense of microservices like Twitch? It's hard for you because your docs are totally non-understandable? What do you mean? There is a lot of languages that are better than Python. I'm not talking about my language. There's a lot of other languages that are better than Python. Once this data structure is confirmed, we can find it and treat we we'll parse syntax. I don't know. Why is it so hard to write words? Can someone else do it for me? I don't know. Does anyone else understand the algorithm that I have implemented in the last couple days? You think the AI tools, Tam, Scum, it can describe those more properly? But shouldn't I tell the AI what have I made so that it can describe it for me? Or do I just give it the code and that it can describe it for me? Is that what you're saying? Just give the code to the AI, all right? I mean, you can try it. You have the code. It's on GitHub. Once this data structure is constructed, syntax definitions are stored in a tree data structure similar to a tree, and edge in this tree is a keyword and a number of values that are expected before that keyword. Once this give the implementation with prompt, then iterate response to finalize more broad description. You look down on AI because I am elitist. Alright. I'm not going to try doing the AI. If you think that it's going to do something good, then the code is there. You can try doing it yourself. You believe Maxi is a troll? Why? That might actually work. Ask ChatGPT to write docs by kast source code. I mean, it could work actually. It could work. If anything, AI has the ability to formulate stuff to general language. Yeah, but will it be able to understand the algorithm? Maybe it will. We won't know unless someone tries it, right? I just don't want to try it myself. There's isn't there like a limit to the amount of the of stuff that you give to the chat GPT anyway, like in the chat? The code is what? Let's see. We have 1,000 lines of Rust code. It's not that big, right? Technically, just the algorithm is in the source AST, I guess. So it's just 500 lines of code. No, I mean, deconstructing of the data structure would be also source syntax then, right? You don't know how GPT works, but probably you can upload a file. Yeah, maybe. GPT sucks compared to the summarizer and editor built into the browser a week ago. Okay. I'm just going to keep doing nothing and just stare at my screen, you know? Eventually I will come up with words, you know? It's alright. Let me just open a window. Maybe it will help me. I just need some air. This constructed the hmm. Let's maybe like show the tree if in addition to you promised push-ups, so if in 1 minute no docs added 10 push-ups, huh? I didn't promise anything. What? You're imagining things. I said that I should do the push-ups sometime. If so like if you know how a tree works, right? Then in order to find a certain string in a tree, you just follow symbol by symbol. You just follow the edges, right? The difference between a tree and our data structure is that the while following an edge, these inner values are recursive parsing of the and we're like recursively like doing the same stuff, you know, because AST is a recursive data structure, right? So in order to parse AST, to parse the syntax, okay, the AST parsing algorithm takes a sequence of tokens and a collection of syntax definitions stored in such data structure, and Construct. But my structure is not exactly a tree, it's a cluster. Cluster versus tree. Decision trees. Okay, so yeah, maybe we just call it decision tree, like, right? In machine learning and data mining, like, decision tree are kind of an algorithm. Decision trees are a popular and powerful tool. Something. Decision trees are a flowchart-like structure used to make decisions or predictions. It consists of nodes representing decisions or tests on attributes, branches representing the outcome of these decisions, and leaf nodes representing final outcomes of predictions. Each internal node corresponds to a test on an attribute, and each corresponds to the result of a test, and each leaf node represents, I don't know. Decision tree is also tree. What is a cluster? What is a cluster? What is a cluster in programming? A cluster is a group of interconnected computers or hosts. I don't think I have a cluster. I think I have a tree. Each computer in the cluster is a node. Computer cluster. Set of computers. I don't think I have that. Tree cluster. So tree cluster is a tree though then, right? Tree cluster. What is a tree cluster? A cluster tree is a tree T, such as that every leaf of T is a distinct symbol. Every internal node of T has at least 2 children. That's already not true. Can you link to the definition that you are referring to? Hierarchical clustering, is this the one? I'm not sure. Tree cluster structure. Clustering tree structures. Clustering trees. The idea that C writes directly to memory is a myth. There is a... And then I guess there was some seg fault, so that the sentence was not completed. Clustering algorithms are a set of methods used in unsupervised learning in a group similar data points together based on certain features or characteristics. I don't think this is what I have though, no. And decision tree is more like about the machine learning and stuff. Which is why like a normal tree is the closest thing that I can think about. But that's not exactly what I have, right? This is more like me. The tree describes the structure output by min disconnect. Apart from node 12 being isolated, the algorithm comes with 2 distinct group of nodes that can be interpreted as sub-communities within the whole network. What? Algorithm proceeds in a top-down or divisive manner and implicitly constructs a general tree which leaves corresponding to clusters of vertices of a graph. Ah. Time to move to a single thread and not read chat. I like what I want here is I want to have like, so this is an example of how a single syntax definition is being broken down into pieces where this is an edge. You know, an edge in this tree is a keyword and a number of keyword, and some nodes that are true can also finish by following yeah, with a certain final verse. Like I want to like have an example of what a tree structure would look like if I have a couple of syntax definitions, you know. Yeah, you know. So let's say that I have, if we have an if else like this, right? And maybe in addition to this, maybe in addition to this, I would also have if in addition to this syntax, we also had syntax like a normal if syntax, you know. Can we have a normal if syntax? It's not really like useful though. Like I want something where we actually like collide. You know? std syntax. If then else, function, try catch. When you say in tree structure, what do you mean? In general AVL tree. What do you mean AVL? I just say a tree. Why do you need it to be some specific tree? Like a general tree. There is just tree. Tree in computer science. Do you know what a tree is? Data structure? A tree is just a tree. With the edges and like a root and everything, you know? AVL is a pretty specific one. Balance trees are pretty specific trees, you know? Why do you want it to be some specific one? I mean, I have a specific one, but I don't know like if there is something like it already. AVL tree is a self-balancing binary search tree. That's not what I have. I don't have a balancing search tree. No, I don't balance anything. That's why I am referring to the other data structure, which is the most similar that I can think about, is a tree. T-R-I-E. Not a normal tree. Not a tree, but a trie, right? Is that how you pronounce it? Maybe you pronounce it trie instead of tree?
Tree.
No, it still is a tree. I don't know. You missed the second part of the language? Or other ways, you should thread it as linked list, because an unbalanced tree most likely will result in its worst case, which is linked list. What? Do you know what a tree is? This one that I like I said, the one that I'm linking about. Do you know what this is? And what is it used for? The schema is the case when every node has a single child, so it's a really long branch. Every node has a single child, so it's a really long branch. I mean, you can construct a very, very long syntax, in which case it will be like a very deep tree, because there would be a lot of like, yeah. If I have something like syntax very long shit is you know, like I can say ABC, and this would be like a very, very deep tree indeed, because if I make A, B, C, D, and E, and if I make all of those keywords, then this would be a tree with a depth of 5, right? Because every edge would be every single one of these symbols, you know? Like, actually, in fact, if all I have is keywords, then this data structure is exactly a tree. The trie tree, you know, this one. Which will allow me to find strings. But we have, in addition to the keywords, we have also inner values, which is like other things. You think this is just a decision tree where you have the same choices that always have to be made? It's not a data storage tree. Well, I'm storing the. I mean, if okay, every syntax is a choice, right? So technically, we need to like choose one of the syntax in the end, right? So we're deciding what it is. I don't know. Yeah, it's like somewhere there in between of a decision tree, a trie, somewhere there. If in addition to the syntax, we also had, like, I want to like give an example, you know, but I'm struggling to come up with the example here, because looking at my standard syntax, I'm wondering if we could have gone for something simpler, and if this is an overkill, but I don't know, because I don't have I mean these things, right? When I have a function definition and it can have it can go, it has an optional result type, or it optionally like gives me contexts, right? But for the sake of the example, since I'm doing the ifs, I mean, we have the if then without the else case, and we have the if then with the else case. Is it like in tree sitter like parser? Maybe look how they describe it. Yeah, actually, I don't know, maybe tree sitter. You mean like look at the implementation or what? Creating parsers, installation, implementation, parsing the grammar, grammar rules, preparing the grammar, building parse tables, maybe. TreeSitter consists of two components, the C library and the command line tool. The library TreeSitter is used to combination. CLI is used to generate a parser from the language. For example, context-free grammar describing the language. The CLI is a build tool. It is no longer needed once a parser has been generated. It is written in Rust, available on crates. Parsing a grammar. Something, grammar rules. A tree-sitter grammar is composed of a set of rules. Each object defines how syntax nodes can be composed from other syntax nodes. So like maybe that's it. A rule. So a syntax definition is what they call a rule? No, a rule is like a part of the syntax definition, like repeating, sequence, and everything. Like I personally, I don't support repetitions yet in my syntax definitions. Maybe I will add it later. Wait, what? The link just was to the crates.io? Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe let's take a look at this. Context-aware scanning for parsing extensible languages, because that's what I'm making, an extensible language, right? Maybe. Extensible language specifications. We have developed tools for building extensible language frameworks in which a programmer can import into his or her host language the combination of domain-specific language extensions that raise the level of abstraction of the language at the task. Host language specification. Grammar. Terminals, start, anti, non-terminals, productions, classes, class ID, class members. So this is like very similar to what we have, right? The only thing is that like the inner, they're like typed. In my case, everything is an expression. So so the thing that I'm doing is like closer to the pret parser, right? From what I understand. Maybe I should read all of these papers. I don't know. I'm not really into reading though. This looks too nerdy for me. Language extension specification. The extensions specify grammars with no start symbols in relation to the host language specification as indicated by the import statement at the top of each specification. Modified LR parsing for algorithms scanning interface. Our approach uses a modified LR parsing algorithm and modified DFAs-based scanner algorithm whose parse tables and DFAs are generated from declarative specifications as those in figures 2. Modified LR parsing. What is LR parsing? Let's see. An LR parser is a type of a bottom-up parser that analyzes deterministic context-free grammar in languages in linear time. What is a context-free? All right. Maybe I should have like done this before I implemented my own thing. I don't know. There's a lot to read though. I feel like, right? Deterministic context-free. In a formal language theory, the deterministic context-free languages are a proper subset of context-free languages. There are context-free languages that can be accepted by a deterministic push-down automaton. These CFLs are always unambiguous, meaning that they admit an unambiguous grammar. There are non-deterministic, unambiguous context-free languages, so deterministic context-free languages form a proper subset of unambiguous context-free languages. You're literally writing the same. Would you want to do the same to your docs? What do you mean to do the same to my docs? Make a PDF? No. PDF files are, I think, I don't know. Or would you want them to do the same to your docs? Constantly waging about feeding. Oh, okay. I mean, went to okay. Who am I writing for? I guess is the question, and who is this written for? Right. I am writing it mostly like for my future self, maybe when we. So because like I implemented the thing in OCaml and then I rewrote it in Rust, and it took a long time, I guess. If we can describe it in simple terms, like the problem is describing the algorithm in as few words as possible. And as you can see in this paper, for example, this is a lot of words. Understand this requires a PhD or something, like writing in Haskell. So I don't know. I feel like it can all be described somewhat easier. Or actually users who will use kast? No, it's not for the users because it doesn't matter. When you are using a language, the way it's implemented doesn't really matter to you. It's more like for those people who are willing to work on a language, maybe. And I don't know, improve the code, something. So that they need to understand the algorithm and like how it all works, right? So it's not for the users. but for maintainers, right? Processing lexical precedence statically. Lexical disambiguation based on lexical precedence relation. Shown in the parse function, line 11, and in the scan function. Something, something. Is there anyone who's familiar with the formal, like, what did they call it? Computer science, bottom-up parser, deterministic context-free, formal language theory is a thing, right? Structure of the syntactically well-formed, although thoroughly nonsensical English sentence. Colorless green ideas slip furiously. Formal language theory. Clean star. Does anyone know what a clean star is? I remember reading about it, but I don't remember what it is anymore. See also Freemanoid. Yeah. Ah. Is Nertzl here? Is Nertzl familiar with formal language theory? Because Nertzl is familiar with category theory, right? I'm not into that either. Category theory. Is there a dark mode here? Directly appearance. Dark. Be better. Just ask Nertzl to write the technical documentation. Okay, but like I need to like write something, maybe like even with bad words, so that it's understandable by someone else than myself, I guess, right? So that someone else can change it into something understandable by even more people, right? Maybe, right? Because Nertzl probably doesn't understand what I'm doing anyway. Do you understand what I have been doing? It already is. You're lurking. What do you want? I don't know. I was just asking if you are familiar with the formal language theory, since you are all into all kinds of theories, like categories and you know, you studied a little bit in the university. All right. So we have an idea. We have an idea, basically. I'm going to explain myself in very bad terms, in very bad words, that hopefully you will be able to decipher what I actually mean by this text. And then you, knowing your like university stuff, or like whatever, since you have became better with words, you will like explain it even better than I did, right? So that someone else will understand, and then maybe someone else will improve on it even more. You know, that's my best idea right now, because I don't know how to write anything. All right, Is it any like is the thing that I have written so far understandable at least? I guess not, because like Quistis has been asking if the tree that I'm making is an AVL tree, and it's not, right? It's obviously not. So maybe since that question was asked, this is already not obvious, even although it's not about the parsing algorithm yet. It's just about the data structure that I'm constructing in order to, which is going to be used in that algorithm. You was joking, by the way. You will be busy for like 2 weeks. All right. It doesn't matter. Like, I just want to write something before I move on to the other things, because we can move on technically and work on the next stuff of the language, right? Start converting it into the intermediate representation, interpreting it, and compiling and everything. But since this is like basically like what we have right now can be extracted into a crate and like live on its own because it's independent. Like should write something about it before I completely forget myself. Right? Okay, I guess we just give it some like syntax definitions that don't necessarily like make sense. You know? We also had a similar syntax definition, but without the else branch, but without the else case. Syntax just if, you know, is true value of condition, you know, then we would have a tree like this, you know. So let's just say that we just only have two syntax definitions, this and this one, which doesn't really make much sense, right? But let's say that we have this. We will have the root, you know, the root of the tree where edge the edge is like underscore if results into a different node where we can finish with a value. This is going to return result in a just if, you know, and another edge into the underscore else is going to result into an inner node, which can be finished with another value, which is going to be, you know, these, what I call the ternary if, right? Right? Does that make sense of what we have? I guess let's put some more here that the the priority here is 20 and associativity. associativity is right, you know. This is because we also store this there. Yeah, maybe I should not talk about this yet, actually. Change edge to root next. A joke. I mean, I call it next in the code, right? But yeah. So AST partition algorithm takes a sequence of tokens and a collection of syntax definitions stored in such data structure and construct and construct NAST, right? Okay. NAST. Okay. Can loop exist at the edge? What do you mean loop? Like I said, right now I don't allow repetitions, in which case I guess it would be a loop, maybe. You know, I don't have the ability to say that something like what you would say that syntax for the list is like an opening bracket and then element followed by a comma, and then this thing can be like repeated multiple times, right? And then we have the closing bracket. I cannot do this right now. Where finish underscore is just if. I'm not sure what you mean. At the second level. What do you mean? What's the question? So like instead of doing something like this with repetitions, instead we have like the comma for combining two things into one. So we construct a list by making a tree. You know, our list parse then. Similarly to how like you parse a plus b plus c, since this is a list of things that you add together by adding a plus b into its own node, basically. So if you have ABC, this would be the same as ABC, kind of, you know. You can like expand it into an actual list later. For the AST, it doesn't matter. Edge if will point to something that at the end points to if. Yes, that would not be a loop though. Right? It's just a keyword that is present multiple times in the same syntax definition. You know? The C parse language takes a sequence of tokens, a collection of syntax definitions stored in a such instruction, construction AST. I want to like give an example of the AST that is parsed already, right? For an AST is either a simple token or a parsed syntax definition with inner values. I mean, when you say parsed syntax definition, it means that it's not just this definition, but these values are now known what is their value. Their value is any other AST basically, right? Technically, we also have like the syntax for having like scoped syntaxes, but nation. I don't know. Let's just give it an example. An example of parsed AST for let's just give something like, you know, a plus b times c, right? And then we say, you know, if this is equal to something to d, then I don't know. What would be the example? I don't want it to be too large, right? Can I use the example using these existing two things that I have done already, you know? You can see people using kast parser as a parsing library for their own language. Actually true, yeah. Yeah, like yeah, you can like construct the syntax and like just don't make it extensible, right? It's a very slick syntax. I mean, you can like it I don't think it allows to parse absolutely any syntax. I just made it so that it's enough for parsing what I wanted to parse. Also, it treats everything as an expression, which is not necessarily true in other languages, you know? But in cast, we treat everything as an expression. Maybe I should write about this here, you know? Because that's a pretty important like part of the syntax here. It's like cast is able to execute statement which may not be the same context parsed in current scope. What? Where would I write something about this? When parsing code into AST, kast treats everything as an expression. So and every syntax definition is expanding what an expression can be, kind of thing, right? Maybe over here. Meanwhile, Unicode abuse broke the main page of Reddit. For those who don't use old design, the new sheet was never supposed to work correctly. Wait, what happened? The NX incident, another broken text incident, 6th in one day. What's wrong? You don't have a screenshot, it doesn't show up on the main page once you visit the post, but the character crosses all the posts above this one on the main page. Just the main page of Reddit. Which one is the main page? I don't know. Looks all correct to me. Because I'm logged in, I need to be logged out. Then it's broken. It's not broken if I'm logged out either. It's not. Looks correct to me. Is there any like diagonal line? What are you talking about? Is it only on like specific users? Maybe only on Chrome or something? There, you missed it? Where? Scroll through. Is it somewhere in the bottom? Is this the post? Where? What's wrong? Dark theme, you don't see the characters? Oh my god. This is the default. I'm not even logged in. How to even like turn it into the light mode? Oh, it's because of the dark reader? I still don't see it. It still is in the dark mode though. Because it's based on my operating system preference, right? Whatever. It crosses above the post. Look at the title. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I didn't see a problem. Okay, let's say that the example of parsed AST would be for like using our two definitions that I would not use actually, but since this is what we have, we can parse something like if A, then no, hold on, we say like A if B, then no, A if B, else else C. If D, is this what we're going to parse? This would be an ternary if where true value is A, condition is B, and false value is just if with true value being C and condition being D, right? Something like that is what we are parsing into. My browser does not support that Unicode. My Linux does not support the bug. Linux doesn't support the bug? What? Is it because I didn't activate my Linux? If I activate it, it will start being buggy. Maybe it's good the thing that I didn't activate it. You know, the trial version doesn't include a bug in it. That's good, right? Nice. You're using activated Linux. Yeah, that's why you see the problem. Okay. Parsing. All right. Let's do this. When parsing, we traverse. When okay. Let's do this. I knew I shouldn't have bought the Linux license. Yeah. Parsing happens. Shit. Why is it so hard? I'm going to rage quit writing documentation and never going to write anything again. I'm just going to make something that works and never write a single comment today. What do I want to say? Yeah, exactly. What do I want to say? That's the question. I'm trying to explain the algorithm so that if someone wants to work on the thing, then they will understand it, you know. So I mean, I'm writing like this, like a post on the blog, but it's technically just a big comment for my code, you know. That's what I'm trying to do. So we have the AST parsing, right? And I want to explain how it works. So if I run parse AST, right, and I say A plus B plus C, this is being parsed into this thing, right? And I want to explain how does it do that while having extensible syntax, you know? I mean, it's hard. I'm trying to like do a very small amount of words, right? What was the paper that I opened that I closed now? It wasn't the tree-seater. Maybe like the reason it's hard is because I'm really trying to like to use as few words as possible. Maybe it's over here somewhere. Yeah, over here. Like, look at this. I really don't want to end up with something like this. Context-aware scanning for parsing extensible languages. I'm not sure if they do the same as I'm doing. Let's see the abstract here, maybe. This paper introduces new parsing and context-aware scanning algorithm in which the scanner uses contextual information to disambiguate lexical syntax. The parser uses a slightly modified LR-style algorithm that parses to the scanner the set of valid symbols that the scanner may return at that point in parsing. This set is those terminals whose entries in the parse table for the current parse state are shift, reduce, or accept but not error. Does anyone understand what this says? This set is those terminals whose entries in the parse table for the current parse state are shift, reduce, or accept but not error. Ah, the scanner then only returns tokens in this set. I have no idea what this means. I think I'm not ready for understanding this. Age more than 40 and gender is M. Ah? That's the whole point of papers, so that no one understands them? Is that the point of papers? Yes. Put our stuff only you understand? Alright. In previous work, I mean, there is some previous work maybe that you should, like, know before going to this one. When a general-purpose languages, such as Java or C, can be extended with domain-specific language features, this gap can be narrowed. What? Which gap? In previous work, we argued that one of the fundamental challenges in developing a robust, reliable software in a timely manner is the semantic gap between a programmer's high-level domain-specific knowledge of a problem solution and the comparatively low-level language in which the solution to the problem must be encoded. Yeah, so companies look at the results, then hire you to implement it. You understood that sentence? Nice. That's why the results are always more readable. Yeah, I mean, the result is understandable, right? We understand what this algorithm does, right? If we take a look at how it works, we have a plus b plus c, and it outputs the a plus b plus c in the form of like the tree, which is what's the left, what's the right side, right? I mean, that's understandable, but Tim McIntyre is on front page of the Twitch, really? Nice. Hello, Pigorli. There it is. I see it. Explain change together. You can hit last save and it like nice. Good for him. Good for them. Yes. Ah, nice. Maybe one day we'll be on the front page too. I think we just need to stop looking at papers no one can understand and do some stupid thing, right? Like play a game about jumping up. Yeah. Let's take a look at the code maybe too. AST. So the code is just 500 lines. It's not that big, right? The read all, this is the important function. I'm gonna describe the steps of the algorithm takes to get there. Do you describe it top to bottom or bottom to top? I also really need to understand what a pret parser is, because like that's the closest thing, I guess. Let's open it here. Parser. Like, what is the official definition of the pret parsing? Is it the operated precedence parser? Is this what a pret parser is? Pret parsing. Another precedence parser known as pret parsing was first described by this guy in 1973 paper. All right, top-down operator precedence. All right, based on recursive descent. Okay. Though it predates precedence climbing, it can be viewed as a generalization of precedence climbing. Fred designed the parser originally to implement the C goal programming language, and it was treated in much more depth by Master Thesis. They also, hold on, the C goal, hold on. Is an alternative syntax featuring extensible algebraic notation for the Lisp. A Lisp with the normal syntax. That's basically what I'm trying to do, right? Seagull has an infix dot operation and the infix add operation. A dot BC is A B at C. The preceding example. Father of X is brother of relative of Y. Alright, hold on. Tutorials and implementations. So there is a... It's described by... in the paper. Alright, let's take a look at the paper. PDF, of course. That's what the paper's format is, right? It broke my Firefox clicking this link. There is precedence climbing. Parse expression, left-hand side and minimal expression. Look ahead, peek next token, while look ahead is a binary operator whose precedence is more than... Yeah, I mean, this, like... Yeah, okay, so we're, like... And then Pratt is, like, generalizing on this algorithm, and I think we generalize even further by, like... something, maybe. Is it only, like, supporting the binary operators, this thing? What about the Pratt parser? Pratt parsing and precedence climber are the same algorithm. There are other ways to apply operator precedence rules. One is to build a tree of the original expression and then apply rewrite rules to it. Such trees do not necessarily need to be implemented using data structures conventionally used for trees. Full parenthesization. The proposal will read sick because the book is supposed to teach the students to write their own language. SICP. Structure and interpretation of computer programs. This one? Nah. Reading. I already have the implementation. I'm just, and I did not read a book. I did not read a... Oh shit, hold on, this was opened. Oh, it's because it's a time machine. Alright. I just wondered what the Pratt's parsing paper looks like. How big is it? How many pages do they have there? Read all. Just look at the paper up on the ACM website directly. ACM. Associations of Computing Machinery. Can I search? Search. Pratt. Top down. Operator precedence. DLICM.org. Digital library. Up, down. Operator. Precedence by Pratt. Wait, was this like written not using a computer? I mean, this is how long ago? When is this from? Where's the date? October 1973. All right. Is this not converted into how do I read it? How do I go to the next page even? PDF. Print y+1. Apply. Lambda plus read 3. Is this drawn by hand? Nice. You regret not reading than you was suggested? It's not that big actually, it's only 50 pages. Only 50 pages. Let's take a look at this over here. A fragment of the definition of L. What is L? Nilfix right. What is nilfix? Infix R. Semicolon. Semicolon R means the right associative, I guess. It's infix operator R. Okay. Prefix this. List. So yeah, they have like the priorities. Delim is another thing that they have there. Infix get list 25. Get list. Does this if else rewind, if then print. This is just a parsed tree. This is what the AST looks like. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know how to make progress on explaining this. Literally no idea. No idea. It's almost like in order to explain this, we need to like build it from scratch, step by step, and say, and like, you know, because that's how the other article, right? If we take a look at once again the parsing article, that's about that's like for the Rust programming language, right? We can, yeah, like this one. We start with the general shape, right? Like this. So in order to parse an expression, what's the first step in your algorithm? I don't know. What is the first step? The first step is like this outer function, similarly to like, I don't know. In order to parse expression, we need to know how to parse expression because it's a recursive algorithm, you know? So what is the first step? Indeed. Like you see how when they explain it here, they don't say what's the first thing to do here, right? You instead of talking about this in the form of steps, you show the general shape of the algorithm, right? That's what you do. And before doing this, they start with describing just a normal recursive descent and left recursion, right? So, for example, if you want to have a struct, if you want to parse a struct, you expect a struct keyword, then you parse a name, then you want to have a curly bracket, then you have the field, the list of fields, and then you have the right curly bracket, right? That's just the recursive descent parser. And then I don't know, like understanding how you get there, I guess, is important before just like explaining the algorithm. Minimal pret parser will be parsing expressions where basic atoms are single characters with numbered variables, and we choose perturbation for this. So tokenizer is not that interesting. Like look at the code and see what the first line of your code does. All right, sure. Let's see. Function read all, right? So in order to read all, I am reading everything with no like minimal binding power. But how to explain this? I don't know. The first line says that if I am in the end of file, then I have succeeded. That's the first line. Otherwise, we start a loop by reading simple values. But like it's, I don't know. It's not useful. Just explaining these lines, just reading them. The first step is to read the source file. Yeah, that's not the interesting step though. The interesting steps happen after the tokenizer is already there, after the lexer is done. Lexer is easy to understand. It's not like necessary to even explain this. What happens after the lexer is the interesting part. Because that's not part, like the part of the algorithm is not reading the source file, okay? The algorithm is working on the sequence of tokens already. That has been done already before. That's not what I'm trying to explain. You heard a rumor that you're pivoting to full-time unicorn simulator dev? Yeah. Yeah, maybe instead of trying to do what I'm trying to do right now, I should go back to making games. uh, um... To make sure that we got the precedence binding power correctly, we will be transforming infix expressions into a gold standard. I guess so. I think the easy part is when all you have is infix operations. I guess, right? If all you have is infix Expressions, this is easy. You know, and then you start by adding the like I feel like this is the way. This is the way of explaining what happens. In order to explain, you need to like explain how to get there. So you start with an easy syntax, which supports only infix operators. Then you add prefix operators. Then you have like postfix operators. And then you add like I think in the end in this article they add the ternary if, right? That's what they add. The ultimate boss of all operators, the dreaded ternary, right? But that's not the end. This is not where it all ends, because in addition to this, we can have like more complex syntax definitions. So so we go from here even further, and this also, I guess, works with a pretty specific syntax. I want to, so like maybe like the idea would be to like rewrite this article, but without having the operators like built in, you know, because they literally have the plus and minus to be like built into the like it's not a dynamic thing, not extensible. It's hard coded, right? Go to the code when the lecture ends. That's where I went. That's what I was reading. This over here is the algorithm that I need to explain. Over here. Over here. This is when the lecture ends. So this is the lexing, the source code. I successfully have lexed it already, and this is the first code. The first code is a read everything, which is giving me the AST already, right? So this is where it all starts, and this all is recursive and everything. I don't know. It's like this is the short version of what's happening, right? So we, in order to parse the input, we have the lexer, right? And then we parse. So this is our thing, right? So in case of this one, they are looking at the next token, right? That's not what I'm doing though. I'm doing it a little bit differently. So this is like easier to understand indeed. They are deciding what they are doing based on the next token, but I cannot do that really. You know what? I'm going to rage quit. I don't know. I have a skill issue of explaining myself. I think we will just continue working on the language where we have this thing that works. No one knows how it works except for me, and even I don't. Like, I mean, I think I know how it works, but I cannot explain it. So yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe someone else will at some point understand the code by reading it, and will explain it, you know? Maybe. The black box approach works too. Yeah, like the reason I'm trying to do that is that like because we want to maintain this code, right? And maybe I'm not the only one who will like work on this at some point. So since I have just written this thing, having it documented would be really nice, right? So that when I come back to it, maybe I will forget how it works and I will read it and like understand it. But if it keeps being a black box, it will be really hard to make changes to it, you know? But I guess, yeah. I don't know. I really don't know how to do this. But I know how to continue working on a language, because we have had more stuff done before when it was written in OCaml. I know how to proceed making the language. Strategy is a behavioral pattern that lets you define a family of algorithm, put them into a separate class, and make their objects interchangeable. One day you decided to create a navigational app. The app was centered around a beautiful map, which helps users quickly orient themselves in a city. One of the most requested features for the app was automatic route planning. What is this about? Solution. The strategy pattern suggests that you take a class that does something specific in a lot of different ways, and extract all of these algorithms into separate classes called strategies. The original class, called context, have a field for storing a reference to one of the strategies. The context delegates the work to a linked strategy object instead of executing it on its own. I don't understand these words. I don't understand anything. My head doesn't work. I am going to end the stream. It's fine. Fine. The straight up programming pattern. You mean the design, the strategy design pattern? Right. Wait, you're making a diagram for the syntax definition? Alright. I can look at it in a bit. If you're quick enough before I find someone to raid. No, you just woke up. Hello, Dev Ninja. I was trying to like you know, the AST parsing that I couldn't like that I was struggling to implement it. This is the hard part. I was trying to so I think the implementation right now is kind of okay. So I was trying to like explain it using words, and that's I don't know. I just cannot do it. I cannot do it. What's the next step for my language anyways? So the next step would be start converting it into the intermediate representation and interpreting it. We will start with only like a small subset that we can interpret, and then we will like build on top of it. We can take a look at what the history was, but probably my commit messages were pretty bad in the old OCaml version. Yeah, okay. I mean, okay, IST parsing took me, hold on. Oh wait, this is top to bottom. We need to go from the beginning. What was happening there? I'm not sure. Like the next part of the language is going to be like recursive. We're going to work on the compiler interpreter at the same time, because that's how it works, you know. It's all going to be very recursive. Interpreter can do math. I guess we just start with math, right? That we would be able to use this as a calculator. The first program that I made to work was the Fibonacci numbers, I guess. So it will have functions, recursion, math, things like that. Custom IR? No, custom. We and this custom is going to be like pretty high level. LLVM intermediate representation is low level because LLVM is low level virtual machine. We are going to still work at a high level. It's almost like a compressed AST into only the important bits. Then on top of that, we also have like the type information attached to every single node. In the original implementation, I started without the types and made it completely like dynamically typed. I'm not sure how I'm going to work here. But yeah, we have a custom intermediate representation. We have an interpreter that can interpret that intermediate representation, and we will then later convert that intermediate representation into some other things, like maybe LLVM intermediate representation, or if we do the native, then it would be crane lift. My idea was that I would convert it into JavaScript first because that should be easier. I think, not sure though if it's actually easier. But I started converting it into JavaScript in the old version before I started rewriting into Rust. So I think it should be easy. Yeah. So we're going to work on everything at the same time, I think. AST is like the only thing that is separate. Everything else is kind of going to be calling into each other. Yeah. Where's the oh, you send it in the Discord? Hello guys. Or do you need more time, Nigel? Anyway, who do we raid? It will take some time? Alright, sure. Sure, go ahead and raid. Rust. Oil price scraper. I'm not sure what it does, but it is some Rust. I like Rust. Okay, see you guys next time. Next time, hopefully, I will actually make some progress. Bye.